Pimlico, and we're really proud to represent Caroline Chinakwe. Now, just to give you kind of an idea about who the artist is before I do a quick tour, she's done 20 years in the fashion industry. She's also had the opportunity of exhibiting with Box Park, the Langham Hotel, as well as actually having a great deal with like $1 billion company, such as Ciroc Vodka. So she's a very established artist, but she's unique in her own right. Not only does she bring, that element of, traditional African culture, 'cause she's a British Nigerian artist, but she also brings in her fashion influence when she's thinking about, the compositions of the actual garment of these figures. When you're actually diving into her work, this is, quite unique in itself because she does tend to have more, pops of colour. But this particular work of art is a part of an original series, I Am Who I Am. This series is When Things Come Together. Now this is actually the works that were unveiled at her private preview. So over 250 people arrived. So top to deck, completely packed. So when you're actually thinking about Caroline's work, she really creates this presence. Now, When Things Come Together is a new body of work by Caroline Chinakwe, inspired by Things Fall Apart. So this is with Chinua Achebe. Now, actually, when you're diving in, it's through portraiture, archival textures, as you can kind of see the tribal works here, the different traditional prints, the actual markings, the risen features, as well as the tribal marks, as I mentioned, within the facial features. This is quite prominent in this series, but essentially it reflects the aspects of identity, memory, and what it means to rebuild connection, self-after cultural disruption. Really taking in Caroline's work, as I was mentioning, the first work we saw was, a little bit more monochromatic. You saw more of the beadwork emerging through. Now, let us step into more of what she's known for, and that is colour. So when you're looking at the actual features of the models, sometimes you'll take inspiration from fashion magazines, but the aspects of why you'll notice it's more of people of colour in the forefront is it's inviting, the black community, the element of our figure and what we represent into more spaces beyond ourselves. It's also talking about that kind of aspect of when you're thinking about the untold story, it's reinventing it, it's adding a positive, uplifting spin. It's for the people who aren't heard, the people who want a voice. So it also talks beyond our culture. It also talks about the people who want to feel seen and want to be celebrated in a fantastic way. So when you're looking at the works here, so for example, you have Tomorrow the Moon Will Set, set 3. When I was making references to, you'll find some certain tribal references within her work, you'll also see the marks here on the high cheekbones of this model here. So she does it in a very subtle way, but it's almost a hats off to our community. When you're noticing her work, especially the more colourful tones, you can really see how she creates these individual silhouettes and pearl stones when kind of incorporating her style into the work. You'll also find different references to, headpieces. That's quite prominent within with our community. When she plays with her aspects of gold, it's very enticing the way she kind of overlays different textures and compositions when you're diving further into the work. I think I'm going to do that one because that was a part of her unveiling as well. Okay, so now we're going to one of her dearest pieces actually within the exhibition. So when you're thinking about the price points, especially as a collector, I want to acquire original work from her. What kind of prices do I expect? So the price range is between 5,000 to 10,000. So this is one of her dearest works, and this is her lived experience at £10,000. Now, when you're diving into this particular original, you can really see the value, the time, and the originality through the artist's mediums. So she'll have a mixture of, a digitalized aspect of her work, as well as I mentioned, adding in the individual beading.
Thank you for tuning in to Nigeria Magazine's YouTube channel. Stay connected, stay informed, and stay inspired with the latest from Nigeria. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to stay updated.